Welcome everybody to our Navarre farming guide. This is by far the most important day along with Arvis and probably Berkut if you have the right setups BHM farming. So I highly recommend you take advantage of Tuesdays because Tuesdays are very good for Navarre farming. There are definitely ways to do it that don't require high investment, but I wanted to showcase today that you can actually clear this on one enemy phase with the right setups. Depending on how long you've been playing, if you're a new player, you might not be able to achieve this, or if you are maybe playing for a long time, you don't even have to use somebody like Legendary Ike, and you probably have someone else in your barracks that's fully capable of doing this, especially if you put the right setups like summoner support or buffs on this unit, depending on the cases. I want to be very particular here with how I utilize buffs, because before we start on what kind of setup I have, you actually look at this cleric here that has panic, and panic reverses buffs, so you got to be very careful with how you utilize them. Visible buffs like hone attack and attack tactic, defense tactic and such can actually reverse the effects of buffs that your unit doesn't actually clear Navarre. So be careful with how you utilize buffs. I've had situations where I used defense tactic and then the unit that was farming was actually unable to clear it. Like he actually just missed the kill completely, or got out of QR range because he took too much damage. Anyways, in this case, I just have Tsubaki with nothing on him, Frederick with nothing on him, and then this is the one thing that I've chosen to do here, which is Hone Attack 3 on my Legendary Ike. This is a neutral Legendary Ike. He reaches 60 attack in this case. What I've chosen to give him is Attack Defense 2 Seal, and I think this is one of the better options to do. You could give him QR 3. You're going to have to play around with the type of Ike you have. A neutral Ike might be capable of doing this, depending on whether he's summoner supported, whether you choose to have QR 3 or not versus 2, and whether you choose to give him attack defense 2 or close defense. It's going to be very particular, but I want to showcase my particular method, and then you'll be probably be able to adapt it to your needs to be able to clear it. So what it is in question is just clearing it on one enemy phase. Usually this takes 2 phases, a second player phase to clear it, but being able to do it in one does make it about a couple seconds faster, and those seconds can add up for optimal HM farming. So as you see, he goes in and everything dies in one hit. Well, not one hit, but one round. Now, the reason I can do this is because of the setup I have. And Ike isn't the only particular unit that could do this. What I've noticed with this is that this thief up here has 58 effective health, 44 HP plus 14 defense. He ends up with 58. Axe Fighter here Ike has the color triangle advantage. He does need QR to kill, and he needs QR to kill against Navarre. Now this thief unfortunately has 64 bulk, and I don't think it's easy to accrue like 68 attack. Sorry, yeah, 62 attack is how much you would need. 664. Mathematics, guys, whatever. 44 plus 20, 64. I figured it out, okay? 64 effective attack is how much you would need on Ike to do this. And unless your Ike is like plus 10 or running like attack tactic, it's very unlikely that you'll be able to one-round this guy. And again, be careful with how many buffs you choose to give Ike, because panic will reverse those effects. So QR and one-shotting this thief is very important. Now the reason that one-shotting this thief is important is because he has Moonbow. If you let him double Ike, he will Moonbow you and take you out of your QR range. That's why it's important to reach over 58 attack and for the unit you choose to do here. Or you have to reduce the damage significantly enough that the Moonbow doesn't hurt the unit out of QR range. So as you can see here, with the map animations on, Ike just one-shots, doesn't get moonbowed, stays within QR range. Navarre does a pretty decent amount of damage and then heals back up with Radiant Aether, recharging Radiant Aether. He kills the healer and gets back into QR range, gets panicked there, and that's very important. If he is defense buffed, he could actually get out of QR range there and not have QR for this thief. Just as an example to prove what I'm trying to say here, if I was to give Tsubaki defense tactic, right? If I go with defense tactic, we're giving Ike an extra 6 defense, and the panic will actually drop us out of the QR range. So as you can see, 45 defense, 60 attack. You're probably looking at this like, whoa, okay, that's going to make it easier to do this Grand Hero Battle Farm. No, that's not the case. You go in, you're gonna kill everything up until that point where the Axe Fighter hits you. Once the Axe Fighter hits you, you're going to be out of QR range because you've buffed up Ike significantly enough that the panic reverses the effects. So even though we died, we got panic there. We've taken more damage to this Axe Fighter, and now we're out of QR range. And we die. So it's a little bit of a trap, and you gotta be careful with the buffs you do provide Ike. As you saw, you would think that something like Defense Tactic would help you clear it, but that's not the case. The Hone attack is usually okay because he relies on QR and Radiant Aether to secure his kills. So all I've chosen to do here is just give him a slight attack buff and defense buff that isn't panicable through the attack seal, and Hone attack just so he has enough attack power to one-shot that dagger so he doesn't get Moonbow initially. Again, all you need to do is adjust with whatever seals you have and whatever attack buffs you have. You don't have to use like Hone attack 3 seal. You could use somebody like female Corrin who has Hone attack 3 built in, or Matilda as your attack buff, and then that should be able to kill that dagger user one shot. And you just have to focus on keeping within QR range. This rule pretty much applies to any other unit, not just Legendary Ike, but Legendary Ike is one of the most consistent ways to do this, and everyone has them. That's why I wanted to showcase this particular method. What I'll do in a moment is show you another unit on my other account, my free-to-play account, also doing the same thing in a similar fashion. For those of you that are very much familiar with how my free-to-play account works, we have a very, very powerful man in the name of Summer Xander. Now, unlike Ike, Xander has less attack. He doesn't actually reach 58 attack to one-shot the dagger user, but he has a lot more defense than Ike. It's 46 defense that isn't panicable. This means that the dagger user, even with a Moonbow, doesn't actually bring Xander out of QR range, especially when combined with the Carrot Axe's healing. Now this is a very specific setup, and I'm not expecting anyone here to be like, Akariss, are you telling me that I need a summoner supported +10 Summer Xander to farm Navarre? No. What I'm saying is, for some of you that may have Adult Tiki Summoner supported, or like Noe Summoner supported, and Noe would probably have a harder time because of the Axe user having color triangle advantage, but what I'm saying is, you pretty much have maybe a distant counter user that you've Summoner supported, or someone that might be adaptable to this strategy, especially if they have high defense, using QR to negate the fact that the dagger users are really quick. And of course, following the same rules, my units here, we have Hone Attack 3 on Corrin. Those buffs aren't actually buffing Xander, as you'll see in a moment, and Stall doesn't have anything. So we cannot swim. We come in here for Lunatic on Navarre, and the only buff I'm providing Xander with is the Hone attack buff. We move up. He's not going to one-shot the dagger, but the damage is not going to bring him out of QR range because he's healing. So it just gets hit, kills everybody, uses Bonfire to secure the kills. But as you see what I did there? As you see, where is the C? Okay, seriously though, if you have a super invested unit, usually the case is that you're able to use them to do the same thing Legendary Ike can do, if you're not able to use Legendary Ike to do it. Especially if that unit isn't HM capped yet. Like in this case, my free-to-play account here doesn't have a Legendary Ike that can meet the standards of clearing list. So I use someone like Summer Xander here to do it for me because he has distant counter. I hope you were able to take something out of the video. I know that Navarre is quite easy to set up and compared to most HM farms most other days, but it's still very important that we use this fast method of doing so. And if you have any other ideas that you want to share, feel free to just put it in the comments below. And you know, if I may have missed something that also didn't work, or if you need help setting them up, just ask in the comments and that'll help you out. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give ourselves a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, feel free to do that, and check out some of the more educational content. Peace out guys.